Alright, so here we are doing some more jobs, the most boring part of the entire game.
Thank God it's almost over.
Yes, it is. This is the last job, and this is the one where I fail pretty horribly.
And here we have Roxas practicing his Devil May Cry with a styrofoam bat. That's awesome. They should give Nero a styrofoam bat as a joke weapon. I know there was another game that did that once. I actually don't really like this game, but it was Legacy of Kain Defiance, which incidentally is a Devil May Cry clone. There's a code where you can input, you get a cardboard tube to replace your sword with. When it happens, Kain says, "Fear the tube." That's hilarious. That was awesome.
I know in 358 days you can, like in the multiplayer, you can actually unlock an umbrella as a keyblade, I think. So
yeah,
there's a bunch of joke weapons like that, which is one thing I actually liked about that game. So
yeah, Final Fantasy VII had some joke weapons too. Cloud gets a nail bat. You can get an umbrella for Aeris, which is all kinds of Princess Peach, and there was some pretty funny stuff there.
Yeah, I really wish that like they have at least one kind of joke like costume or weapon in RPGs, just because, you know, like if it's a serious game, you know, it'd be nice to have like some comic relief, like if in Demon Souls, you know, they gave him just a plank of wood or something as a weapon. That would actually be pretty funny, but no, the best weapon, most of the weapons are just giant, oversized swords that are about as tall as you are, that you actually use to kind of crush the enemy, not so much cut him.
So we better make the time we do have something to
Yeah.
remember. Huh? Gotcha.
Alright, that was a random soul-searching moment from our friend, what's his name there?
Hainer.
Yay, we got the money pouch. We get this, like, you have obtained this key item screen, and then a cutscene plays where you lose the item. That... okay. That makes sense, I guess.
Huh? What I don't get is, if Olette was holding the money bag, and they were right in front of the station, why did she give it to Roxas anyway?
Roxas! 3 minutes!
She can't resist his hair.
Okay.
Oh my god, but... I don't know more on your little plot devices.
Why didn't they just cut to the scene where he loses the bag? Why do we need to get this "you got this key item" screen?
4 students. Roxas.
I don't know.
The money.
They could have just made it one cutscene, actually.
No.
That would have been...
Huh? He took it.
Where are you going?
I don't get is why they saw him
Remember
just
when
standing
I fell?
up.
I had the money before that. I bet
I
that
will
guy
never
took it.
understand that.
I suppose, you know,
couldn't
probably
have
has something to do with the
gotten
fact that they're just programs in a
far.
virtual reality.
What are you talking about?
But you know what? I don't really care at this point.
There was no guy. Huh?
Yeah, well, this
But
is actually
wasn't?
right before where the story starts to
Really?
pick up. So...
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
There wasn't anyone?
Not right before we
There?
get to play as Sora, though. My god,
That-
this Roxas section lasts for fucking ever.
Yeah, I love how you have to play for 5 hours before you get the game's logo.
Huh. To play for 5 hours before the gameplay gets even vaguely interesting. One of the problems with this game, really. At least it's not as bad as Final Fantasy XIII,
nothing.
where the game is stuck in hallway mode for the first
Sorry.
30 hours.
Cheer up already.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah, and
definitely
the other
weird,
half of the
though.
game is in that giant wasteland.
You said it.
That's actually a pretty good wasteland, though.
Can you feel Sora?
Can you feel Sora?
No. And that's a creepy question.
Restoration at 28%.
Namine. Hurry.
Nominee. Hurry. Okay.
And then...
I love how they literally say they just couldn't be asked
Is
to
it really
program a
that
beach.
hard to make a beach?
Yeah,
We'd be giving the enemy another entry point.
sure you would. Of
And
course.
this? We can always buy some sea salt.
Alright, here's a question. Why can a virtual world item somehow materialize in the real world?
Objects from that town must be kept out of the real world. You can delete that.
So,
If they can delete it, then yeah, that's actually a good point.
why is it here? How? What? Why? Why am I trying to rationalize a game with Disney worlds and gummy ships? Never mind. Forget I asked.
So many places.
considering
I
it
wanna
takes
see.
itself so
I know I'll
seriously.
get there someday.
A lot of the time. Not so much Kingdom Hearts 1, but Kingdom Hearts 2 just goes with the...
Kingdom Hearts 2 switches from Disney mode to Final Fantasy mode. It really does. It's just a whole lot of standard Final Fantasy stuff going on, you know?
Yeah.
Whereas the first game was more focused on Disney stuff. It's like, I don't mind shifting more toward Final Fantasy, I just think they shifted too much toward Final Fantasy. You know what I mean?
Next
Yeah.
time, we'll do it together.
Really, it's sort of like Kingdom Hearts isn't really, like the first one seemed more like a spin-off, and now
Or
it's,
are you too cool
at
to
this
play
point,
them now that you
they
have the
pretty much,
Keyblade?
like, made its...
They
They
pretty much
made its name. This is the
What are
Kingdom
you
Hearts
doing here?
series, not Disney and
Did you
Final
find her?
Fantasy together.
I still can't believe
Yeah. More or less.
it. It really flew. Wait till I tell Kai. I wonder if she'll believe me.
Huh. You know what? Those of us who played the first
searching
game
too.
are tired of the flashbacks by this point in the scene, and those who
Don't lose
didn't
sight of it.
don't have a fucking clue what they're watching, so
Where
why
are
is
you
this going
going?
on for so long?
I'm
I
gonna go look
don't...
for
Yeah,
my
I mean,
friends.
that
They're
and they
waiting
played
for
the
me.
cheesiest scenes in the entire game.
Why did they even bother putting the Winnie the Pooh section in there? Wasn't that an optional side quest?
should be asking
Yeah,
about her.
Well, it was canon because he knows who they are in the second one, so...
Yeah. It's like,
But then,
but you know, the player hasn't necessarily played that. It's like, chances are they know the Winnie the Pooh section is there, but they haven't necessarily played that far into it, you know?
right. Well, I beat it just because it was actually... I actually did like it just because the mini games weren't...
Alright, here's
Recall
another question. Why is Diz wearing a mask?
That's... I think it's because he doesn't want anybody to know who he is, but then at this point nobody knows who he is anyway, so...
He's sitting in a room by himself. Why is he wearing a mask? Is he afraid someone is looking through a crack in the wall?
I think... Well, actually, yeah, maybe... I think Mickey would know who he is, so if they ever see him, then that would make sense. Sitting in a room by himself, yeah, I don't have a clue.
I am getting tired of characters that look like Naminé does. I've seen too many in these Square Enix games. Please stop. Come up with some more original designs for your female characters, please. Thank you. Okay, thanks, bye.
Yeah, I love how most Nomura characters look. They seem to follow at least like one basic template, and then he just like changes a couple things just to make them either a guy or a girl.
Yeah, there's actually kind of a funny image on the internet about that. Like, it starts with a female character, and then it branches off into male and female characters, and then both sides have pretty much the same steps as far as adding clothing articles and stuff go. And that's how you make a Final Fantasy villain.
Add 1,000,000 belts!
Yeah, I think that actually was one of the steps.